And what a way to start a show with a concert too, as well, which is great. She's one of the powerhouses in country music here. As we're back here, KKTC True Country 99.9, and of course our friends out there, HighTideCountry.net, powered by the Sports Guys Podcast.com. After a week off, feel refreshed, feel ready to go, and that if that don't get you in the mood for what's coming up in 2024 for this beautiful lady, I don't know what will out there. Jessica Lynn here on the program. What's going on?
Hi, thanks so much for that nice intro.
Hey, appreciate you setting the tone with everything. That's a blast out there too, with a great 2023. Let's start right there with all that too, because I mean, what a year for the highlight reel. My goodness, tell us about how 2023 just was a blur for you.
It really was coming out of the pandemic where things really slowed down. I mean, they sped up in other ways, which is strange, but obviously we weren't on the road. So this year, 2023, was our first big tour back. And I honestly had a lot of anxiety about it because it had
Hmm.
been a few years. I didn't know, like, are people still going to come out? Like, what is this going to be like? And it was the best tour we've ever done. We broke
Hmm.
some audience records. I made history at a theater that we played by being the only act in history to sell out 2 days in a row. It was just really an incredible year, one I can't quite put into words.
Hmm. It'd be hard to do that too as well. And I've had those as I've seen this product grow over the last few years too. And there's always highlight things. I know one of the things we got to do, a few weeks ago is have the great Brantley Gilbert here on the program, which was a milestone for us too. And he's kicking off his big off the rails tour, which is fantastic. And these you don't take something like that, Jessica, very lightly. I think you just kind of look at it and say, at some point, the hard work pays off. You're a fantastic artist. You've shown it through your music for as many years as you've been doing this too. And you know how hard this industry is because nothing is ever guaranteed. You live one day to the next, and you hope for the best, right?
It's true. I could have said it better myself. It is the most difficult. I mean, one of the most difficult industries in the world. I would say music and sports, to break into, and it makes it so sweet, especially as an independent artist. All the touring, everything that I do is by
Mhm.
my own blood, sweat, and tears, and I think that makes it so much sweeter when you do accomplish things like that. And I'm just forever grateful.
Tell us about your writing style. I know we've done some shows in the past too, and always appreciate you keeping us kind of abreast of what's going on, especially with new music. We'll talk about here in a little bit. But I always love the different writing styles because every artist is different. I mean, obviously the hook's there, and you got some of the same similarities, but there are some differences there too with the background, the hook, and the knowledge, and the personal experience, or some maybe fantasy, or some just kind of catch on. What's the Jessica Lynn process of songwriting?
My process is to have no process. It's to it's to feel what feels right. And I think I've learned that throughout my career. In the beginning of my career, especially as a country artist that was born and raised in New York, I'm an
Mhm.
Italian New Yorker. There was a lot of naysayers, and I think I had to really fight hard to make a place for myself in this industry and show that I could do it and be successful. And in the beginning, I remember going into writing rooms or sitting here and being like, oh, that's not country enough, or oh, that's too long, never going to get played on country radio, or this isn't the right feel for what's being played right now, or oh, we're on a festival with these artists, this isn't going to fit in. And I think I gave away so much, or missed the opportunity, I should say, of so many good songs because I was
Mhm.
so in my head about it. And in the pandemic, I think what really taught me this lesson was May of 2020, when, as I learned my world tour was canceled, I was falling apart career wise, emotionally, mentally. I mean, it was a very difficult time for everyone.
Mhm.
I dug into writing, and this song came out of me called Run To. That was straight like Bon Jovi 80s power ballad.
Mhm.
And I loved the song, but I'm like, how could I ever release this? People are going to look at me like I'm crazy. And I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna go for it. Like, what do I have to lose at this point? I mean, the whole world is falling apart. Might as well try something new. And that song, I think, is what really, really started my career. I mean, Billboard wrote it up. I was featured on CMT.
Mhm.
All of these things came out of having so much fear of being different. And I think that really taught me a lesson. A good song is a good song. Art is art. There's no
Yep.
box that you have to fit into. And if people are going to be mad that you're not inside their box, then they're not the right audience for you.
Yeah, I remember a lot of that too. I had talked to several artists here on the show, and let's build on that a little bit, because I think that's one of the most powerful statements there. Because if you're not into it, that's the power of streaming now. Is you put somebody's name into any of the programs out there that you want to download, hear a podcast, or listen to an artist, and this style of music may not be for everybody too out there, but that's the benefits of streaming. But also too, your social media following is so great. Your fans are there, and they've shown you how dedicated they are by coming to the concerts, buying the merchandise, paying the ticket prices, spending their hard-earned money. And that fandom, you're right, you never take for granted too, because some people are going to like it and some people may not, but it's hard to please everybody.
It is, and you never will. And I think that's one of the most important lessons that you can learn as not just a new artist, but any artist, especially with the internet. People are so cruel. They are so mean. Everybody has an opinion. And something that's really helped me, I actually, something interesting that I do is I teach music mentorship classes through the US government, the Department of State. They hired me. I have my own course that I've taught to students ages 16 to 50 all around the world, students in Africa, Kazakhstan, and I teach them how to build profitable and successful careers in the arts. And something I always stress to them is you are your greatest superpower, your individuality, your uniqueness. Why would someone look at you if you're doing exactly what this other person is doing? That's what's going to set you forward. And one of my favorite quotes ever that I saw on the internet one time was, don't ever be offended by someone you wouldn't seek advice from. People are going to say mean things. I'll look at a video of Celine Dion on YouTube, one of the greatest singers of all time, and people will be like, sounds so horrible, like a dying cat. It's like, if Celine gets it, I think it's okay that I get it.
Yeah, and it's hard to please everybody out there too at the same time. But we'll talk about this new single. We got to take a quick time out here. It's funny how the conversation, when it's going well, it goes by fast, just like a vacation last week for me too. A blur. Of course, I'm still getting used to this daylight savings time. My goodness, of all this change we've got out there too. My body's still on like the 3 o'clock mode now to the hour back instead of the hour forward too as well. We'll take a time out for our friends out there too, our friends that made CRS possible, a country radio seminar just there a couple of weeks ago, and already making plans to come back for CMA Fest. The schedule's out there too as well. You guys can check it out there, CMA Fest website, and a whole lot more. A lot of great artists performing on a lot of great stages in and around beautiful Music City out there too. June the 7th to the 9th, or more the 6th to the 9th out there too, if you take Thursday through Sunday. We look forward to being there too. CMA Fest 2024 coming up this June 6th to June 9th. Quick time out for our sponsors. More with Jessica Lynn. We got to come back, talk about Shame, which is the newest single. We played it on KKTC this morning too as well, and our call-in with Shelly in the morning too as well. And a whole lot more coming up here on the Backstage Pass, powered by the Sports Guys podcast.com, and of course hightidecountry.net, and our friends at KKTC True Country 99.9. Back in a flash.
Ever thought about owning your own business? Tanya Lapsley-Cockett did. She decided a little over 5 years ago that she was going to be an entrepreneur, so she started her travel business. Tanya is married and works a full-time job. Her business has given her amazing opportunities. Not only does she get to help people create memories by booking their vacations, sporting and entertainment tickets, rental cars, etc., but it has also allowed her to help other families create legacy income. The travel industry is extremely lucrative and is an $8 trillion industry. The travel industry is projected to earn in excess of $15 trillion over the next 10 years. The travel industry pays its professionals up to 70 to 80% commission on the travel that they book for themselves and their clients. As a travel business owner, Tanya books travel and teaches others how to own and operate their own travel business. She is a director in training on the marketing side of her business, where she has helped over 90 families start their own businesses. If you're interested in owning your own travel business, please contact Tanya at 917-743-1199 or at ladytlc3555@me.com.
The Kate and Gordon Show is a 2-hour show playing the best in country music. So check it out at thekatengordonshow.com. Again, that is thekatengordonshow.com.
The Bangtail pour is comprised of a sweet corn mash base. The front has a subtle sweetness and not too sharp. It has notes of a medium char or white oak for a smoky flavor in the middle, and the tail has a super smooth and warm finish.
Go behind the scenes with some of the biggest artists in music today with the Backstage Pass, powered by the SportsGuysPodcast.com. Join Brandon Morrill and his co-host Kirsty Krause as they talk to rising stars and legends about their music careers. Listen to their latest tracks and learn fun facts about the men and women behind the music you love. And be sure to tune into the Backstage Pass Monday through Friday from 3:30 to 6:30, powered by the SportsGuysPodcast.com. And welcome into the Backstage Pass. And back here with Jessica and Lynn on the Backstage Pass, always powered by our friends, the Sports Guys, podcast.com, Grand Slam of sports and music talk there too. Baseball season coming up next week, like 11 days away. Getting excited about that. March Madness coming up this week. The Field of 68 has been announced by the NCAA, men's and women's tournament too as well. I love both because I get a chance to watch it too. And so much more coming up, NFL free agency, and a whole lot more we'll cover over the next few weeks and months here too. You know, I got to ask you about this latest single, Jess, because they loved it this morning. This came out March the 1st. Shame has really done some amazing things for you. Congratulations on its ride so far. I love this song. Tell us how this all got started and this idea to put out a great tune.
Thanks so much. So I was co-writing with an amazing writer in England that I met through my touring there, and she's like, I have this idea, and she sang the first line of the chorus, and I immediately, it just kind of clicked with me. And that's how my writing style works, where a light switch goes on and it just doesn't go off until the song is done. I write pretty quickly usually while I'm in that zone. And so it came out with this very Latin feel. And again, old me, years ago me, beginning of career me, would have been like, oh, that's Latin sounding. I can't put that out. But I was like, this is kind of cool. Let's go for it. I did hold on to it for over a year out of fear that it was so different. And I finally was like, you know what? Again, let's go for it. And it charted, and I couldn't believe it. It was so cool. It broke the top 100 on the Latino charts, which was my first crossover single into that genre here in the US. And it went #1 actually in Ireland. So it's been really, really exciting.
I love it too. Hey, I'm gonna go back a little bit to 2022. You touched on that year too about how difficult, of course, the pandemic and getting through all that. But you guys did release a great project. I was touching on it this morning on the morning show too. September that year when Lone Rider had come out too, which is the full length album. I love there. Now or Never, I thought was fantastic too. Had some people listen to the actual title track this morning, and also Better Than That. As you look back here, it's just 2 years removed, or will be 2 years coming up this year removed for that particular album. Talk about just building on the success and some of the great things that Lone Rider did for you.
I did not expect that record to do what it did as an independent artist. It was my first full-length record after touring for 9 or 8 years, because it's really hard for an independent artist to put out a record. It's so time-consuming and it's cost so much money, and I spent my career being on the road, so I was never home enough to even do something like that. So I spent the entire pandemic, 2020 to 2022, recording and working on this record. And I'll get really real for a second. I hope I don't get emotional, because it was a difficult time for me, but I saved every penny throughout the pandemic to be able to put everything into this record, because I really believed in it. And a PR company I had hired, and I did so much research, and I was like, this is the perfect one. This is the one that like my life savings for this record is going to go into. And they took my money and basically didn't do anything. And it was really heartbreaking for me, because that was 2 years of doing live streams and saving every single thing I could to be able to release this record that meant a lot to me. And I was left with nothing. I mean, they drained almost every penny out of my account. And so I was so depressed. I was like, I'm just going to let this record fall out. I'm embarrassed. We've been hyping it up, thinking we're going to have all this media buzz around it, and now I have nothing. I'm just going to post about it and hope that some people download it or listen to it. So on day of release, normally I'm like checking the charts, I'm all excited. I didn't look because I felt so upset when I woke up. I actually cried when I woke up that morning. Like, this is supposed to be such a happy day and I have nothing. After the stress of the last 2 years, it's kind of like the cherry on top. And I was going to a wedding that night, actually. And on the way, I was like, you know what? Let me just look. Maybe we broke the top 200 somewhere, or something like that. I don't know. And we were at number 4 on Amazon Music in multiple countries. And by the end of the night, it had charted number 1 in multiple countries, top 5 all genre, and it wound up charting number 41 on Billboard.
Amazing.
And that was definitely a sign. Keep going. It's okay.
Yeah.
You can experience hard things and you can get through them. And it was a special day in my life for sure.
Yeah, I thought one of my favorite ones off of their Getaway Car. I thought it was just one of the ones that we talked about this morning too, and good
Thanks.
lyrics behind it too, and such a fun type of tune that people can just really kind of dive into and probably tell their own story to resonate with.
Thanks so much. That's what I try to do with my songwriting. Something, because I don't know about you, but I hate it when I'm listening to a song and I'm like, oh, this is so me or my relationship. And then they're like, and then those blue eyes. I'm like, dang it, my husband doesn't have blue eyes. So whenever I write, I try to always be specific yet generic so that anybody that's listening can tell their own story or relate to it in that way.
I love it too. Speaking of this, I heard some I guess chit chat going on there too. And I was making conversation with everybody. We were in the bars doing all the live broadcast CRS this past couple of weeks ago there. Love going to that event too, which is fantastic. And just talking to and seeing some of these ladies and interviewing some here on the show. Priscilla Block, her own tour now. And you look at Lainey and of course, Megan Maroney, one of the new faces of country music there. Talk about this and build on it for me a little bit. This powerhouse female movement, country music. I mean, this is strong right now.
I love it. And for a long time, the genre has been so dominated by the guys. Over the years, I can't even tell you how many festivals where I was the only female on the bill. In multiple countries, not just, especially here in the US though. So it's been really, really cool to have some girl power come back into the genre, because that's what country music used to be. I mean, you look at like Jody Messina, Shania Twain, like Loretta Lynn. I mean, all these, it used to be so women oriented and women music oriented, where you really could relate to the stories. And I mean, I'm just a huge country music fan, and there's so many incredible guy artists out there, but it is nice to have some space for the girls.
Need a little bit of girl power and just keep it on going there too, because I love this, what Jody Messina's been able to do since making this comeback with her. And of course, the work she's done with Cole Swindell on that particular tune. And of course, all the award shows and things like that too. And I just know we're going to hear that term, that name, Jessica Lynn, on one of these award shows in the next few years, coming up very, very soon out there too. We'll get to some of you guys' comments out there too a little bit. Kristen, Bruce, Kenny, Scott, and everybody, just thank you guys for tuning in. Yeah, 41 on Billboard's a massive achievement. Well done, no doubt, from that album, Lone Rider out there too as well. Let me ask you about this, because I got a chance. I was getting home late last night for vacation. I said, I got to turn it on because I'm so addicted to these shows. And it's what I'm binge watching now too, because there's just so much talent. I don't know if it's what's in the water or somebody's drinking, but it's amazing on these shows. The Voice and American Idol and some AGT and things like that. I guess two things. Do you find one, you get yourself into that kind of stuff when you may have time? Is that some binge watching that you do? And what is it about these shows that just keeps people kind of coming back? Is it the talent?
I think people just love music. And I think people also love an underdog. When you see an artist that has no career, nothing, they're a waitress or something, and just have this extraordinary voice, I think that keeps people watching for sure. But my binge watching shows are not music related. When I want to shut my brain off, I don't want anything to do with music. I don't want to think about it, because, as I'm watching, oh, that's a cool outfit. Maybe I should get something like that for the tour. Oh, that's a cool song. Maybe I should consider, I want to watch terrible reality television. just nothing that has to do with the art.
Get away from the arts and do that, which I can understand too. And we'll get to more of that. What have you been binge watching as far as that? You said like reality TV. What shows?
Oh, so my 2 shows right now, and I've been so busy. I mean, I've been pulling 12 to 15-hour days every day, and I'm recovering from a major surgery. So it's been very exhausting getting back into the flow of things. But right now I'm watching Love is Blind, the new season, which I don't know if you've seen it, but basically people date through a wall. They have no idea what the other person looks like until they propose.
Wow.
So it's like the drama is next level. That's been my I don't want to think about anything. Just put this horrible show on and just think about the mistakes these people are making. And then my husband and I have been watching, we've been going back and forth. This Is Us. I know it's an older show.
Okay.
But if you have not seen it, it's probably one of the best shows I've ever seen. It's a story about family and love and relationships, and I've cried every single episode. So it's a special one that makes you think about the people around you and what's important in life.
I need to check these out. Like I said, especially this Love is Blind. For me, that through the wall, I never would have expected a show, because obviously, you're getting onto a reality show or something like that. You definitely want to make sure that, before you propose, what the other person looks like and have a background check. And so, but no, they're saying is blind. So that's, I guess, the title.
Yeah,
the particular show.
I think you'll enjoy it. It's definitely something special and different.
Might get into it with the wife. You never know, too. Again, Shame is out there across all those streaming platforms. Make sure you guys go check it out if you have not already, too, as well. We got one final segment with Jessica Lynn here on the Backstage Pass. We'll take the time out. But I tell you what, Jessica loves jewelry, so if you want to get her some of that, too, just go ahead and do that right now with our friends at Jewelry by Tommy. Perfect gift, handcrafted, handmade for your spouse, friend, or family member. Jewelry by Tommy's got you covered. Email that email right there, burleysystem@yahoo.com today to order. I'm sure earrings or whatever you get, Jessica, or your significant other, spouse, friend, family member is a good thing out there too as well. Again, burleysystem@yahoo.com. It's handcrafted, handmade. It's Jewelry by Tommy. Of course, coming back here after a quick timeout. More with Jessica Lynn on the Backstage Pass. Stay tuned.
Ever thought about owning your own business? Tanya Lapsley-Cockett did. She decided a little over 5 years ago that she was going to be an entrepreneur, so she started her travel business. Tanya is married and works a full-time job. Her business has given her amazing opportunities. Not only does she get to help people create memories by booking their vacations, sporting and entertainment tickets, rental cars, etc., but it has also allowed her to help other families create legacy income. The travel industry is extremely lucrative and is an $8 trillion industry. The travel industry is projected to earn in excess of $15 trillion over the next 10 years. The travel industry pays its professionals up to 70 to 80% commission on the travel that they book for themselves and their clients. As a travel business owner, Tanya books travel and teaches others how to own and operate their own travel business. She is a director in training on the marketing side of her business, where she has helped over 90 families start their own businesses. If you're interested in owning your own travel business, please contact Tanya at 917-743-1199 or at ladytlc3555@me.com.
The Bangtail pour is comprised of a sweet corn mash base. The front has a subtle sweetness and not too sharp. It has notes of a medium char or white oak for a smoky flavor in the middle, and the tail has a super smooth and warm finish.
The Caden Gordon Show, today's best country mix, is a 2-hour show playing independent and mainstream country music you know and love. Be sure to check it out at thecadengordonshow.com for more information on the show.
Go behind the scenes with some of the biggest artists in music today with the Backstage Pass, powered by the SportsGuysPodcast.com. Join Brandon Morrill and his co-host Kirsty Krause as they talk to rising stars and legends about their music careers. Listen to their latest tracks and learn fun facts about the men and women behind the music you love. And be sure to tune into the Backstage Pass Monday through Friday from 3:30 to 6:30, powered by the SportsGuysPodcast.com. And welcome into the Backstage Pass. And back here, Jessica Lynn on the Backstage Pass. Of course, tomorrow, Rachel Stacy will come by, and the Juno Awards are coming up this weekend on Sunday. It's kind of the version up there for them is our Grammys. That's what they look at it as, the Juno Awards coming up this Sunday. Fantastic award shows. A couple of different ladies joining us this week, Hill Corcutis and Amoye, and their respective categories there for what they've been nominated for. Excellent hard work, and is being recognized in the music industry out there too. So full slate of shows, and be sure to check out the sportsguyspodcast.com for what's coming up next. And of course, as we count down to CMA Fest 2024, June 6th to June the 9th. I'm gonna have a little fun with you and kind of build off that. We talked about the reality television, which is always a fun thing. But as far as foods, when you guys are out there on the road, no matter what city it is it Mexican food, Italian food? What do you get into?
Well, I eat vegan, so the rest
Okay.
of the band is subject to my restaurant. I have a lot less options than everybody else. But I love everything. So we always try to pick something different. We usually take a vote. I'm the restaurant finder, so I always try to find the best spots in each city, and then I send it to everyone, and everyone votes on which one they want to eat at. And that's my favorite part about traveling overseas is to try all the different food because there's specialties in each country that you can't get anywhere else. You know, we had pierogies when we were in Poland, and what's like in Germany, like a Flammkuchen, like this type of, it's almost like a German pizza. So that's my favorite part about traveling. Obviously, besides playing the music, but getting to eat all the food.
I love that. Well, that's the best part of it too. Let me, as far as pizza goes now, you mentioned vegan. What toppings go on a Jessica Lynn pizza?
Veggies. I
Veggies.
love vegetable pizza, but I do like Sicilian pizza, probably the
Okay.
best, with
like
the big thick crust. But I'm not a big pineapple on pizza. I know that's a huge debate amongst people, but I'm not a big pineapple person.
I've tried it lately, and you got to kind of be in the mood for something like that too, because like I said, depending on where you get it from and how it's made, if you're going to go hand toss, you're going to go thin crust. It's kind of, you just got a sweet and salty taste to it. You got to be kind of in favor for that too. And I've tried it a couple times recently, but you know, it's for me, I got to be in the mood for it.
I am in New York and born in Brooklyn, so it's hard to impress me with pizza.
With pizza, yeah. I tried it a couple times. I got to get back to New York. It's been a minute or two, but I'd definitely love traveling to Brooklyn and of course all the different suburbs. And I'll tell you what though, still today, my friend, the street hot dogs in New York are still the best. I'm sorry, but they really are.
My husband calls them dirty water dogs. That's what they call them because they've been sitting in that water for God knows how long.
Sure have too, but like I said, your tummy's hungry. It doesn't matter where you've been, pretty much. Jack says pizza in Germany is like sushi in New York City. Hey, you know what? That's good stuff right there. I like that because I love a sushi craving whenever I get one of those too as well. All right, if Jessica Lynn was not a musician, what other career path would she have taken?
So I actually have a master's degree in special education.
That's
So,
right. We did touch on that before. We did.
yeah,
Yeah.
so I would be a special education or math teacher. I have a bachelor's in math and adolescent ed and a master's in special ed. So either one of those, but I have a huge passion for animals. So I don't know if I would work at a rescue. I adopted a disabled dog during the pandemic.
Oh, wow.
She's amazing. Her name's Audrey. She's a double amputee with a wheelchair. She has 2 prosthetic legs. And she's about a 50-pound dog. She's a cattle dog, a hound, a Staffordshire Terrier mix, and she suffered a horrible first part of her life. She had both legs severed by somebody or something and was left to die in an abandoned house. And at the start of the pandemic, I saw her story on Instagram and took her in, which what I thought was going to be a few week foster until we left for 5 months on the road. And you know how that went. So she's still with me, but she's gotten me very involved, even more so. I was always involved in animal rescue, but more so with her and with some wonderful charities. There's one of my favorites, if anyone's looking to support any amazing causes, it's called Joey's Paw. And they put dogs in prosthetic legs and wheelchairs. And they're an incredible charity. So something with animals or children with special needs.
See, you and I, that's why we became good friends, the whole thing, because I also have my master's in special education, currently
Do
doing
you?
that full time as a teacher. Yes, ma'am. The same thing there, working with kids with special needs. I do that 16 years, actually, been doing that. And I got my
Wow.
master's a while back and finished all that. The teacher certification. Bachelor was actually in the first love here, which was media broadcasting. So it's just crazy how I use both of the great degrees every day. And I tell people, man, if you get that shot to, it's college is not for everybody, but if you get that shot to go, man, take it and learn from it, build an experience, and go get something out there. Because man, it's amazing how when you really love what you do, you don't work a day in your life. Like I said, that's one of the best things out there.
So true. And even when you're not teaching, what you learn from being an educator with children with special needs transcends every aspect of life. Not anytime you interact with people, even though I'm not teaching, it taught me how to be so kind to people, how to never judge a book by its cover, to be patient with people and tolerant. And you never ever know what somebody's going through on the inside. And just treating everybody with the same level of respect. And it's I think going to school for that, being able to work, I did
Mhm.
work a few years in the school before my career really took off. It made me the person that I am today. I would never change it for the world.
Yeah, I love it, and just for me, it's like if I keep doing it, as long as I keep going, because I mean, the kids see stuff like this, and then you put a smile on their face, and you set them up for success, and they learn through failure to come out stronger on the other side, so they can see the light at the end of the tunnel. Because so many different things, you never know what's going on inside of them, or like you said, a person. So you just try to treat people, just have kindness and be courteous and respectful, and good things happen out there too as well. I love this song. Cannot wait to have you back here. You're one of my regulars here on the show. It's called Shame. It's across all those streaming platforms. And I always like to make sure I have the site correct. JessicaLynnMusic.org. Make sure you have everything out there you need, from merch to the tour dates to everything. She's building on a strong 2023 she had, and bigger things coming up for 2024. Hey, best of luck with the recovery from the vocal surgery. I'm looking forward to connecting again at some point to do this when new music comes out. You're always one of my favorites. And, just thank you always for thinking of me and this platform here to promote your music.
Thank you so much for having me. You're such a wonderful person, and it's really, really nice to spend time with you.
The one, the only Jessica Lynn out there across all those digital streaming platforms. We're back tomorrow. Rachel Stacy Amoye coming on tomorrow. Juno Award nominated. Hill Corcutis coming up this week. My friend Jennifer Hart is going to stop by, and a whole lot more. And if you missed, some people still asking me, if you missed the interview with Brantley Gilbert, go check it out. The Sports Guys podcast.com or KKTC True Country 99.9 and our friends at hightidecountry.net. And of course, always subscribe to us on our YouTube channel. You can catch it there. All the archived interviews available there. Appreciate all the sponsors too as well. Thank you guys for tuning in. Bruce, Robert, Scott, Lauren, everybody out there too at the same time. We'll continue to read the comments off air. We'll see you guys tomorrow on the Backstage Pass powered by the Sports Guys podcast.com. Until then, take care and God bless.